This is really getting them hungry. I mean, they are ready to just get moving again, get back out on some tennis courts, and they all can't wait to return and to get back to competing again for Virginia Tech.
All right, Coach, thanks for taking some time for us on this Duncan Take It to the House. And of course, unfortunately, all sports had to take it to the house. What was that like in your program in particular? Because you have 6 players who hail from outside the United States, and we've discussed how difficult shelter in place is and all of those things domestically, but internationally, I would imagine that adds a whole new element to it.
Yeah, it definitely does. It was a tough time. It is a tough time for everybody. And I know for our student athletes on our team, especially for those that live so far away, it was definitely very, a big time, of course, of uncertainty. They weren't sure what was going to be the best next step for them. Do they stay here? Do they go out and travel back home? Of course, their families want them home, as any parents would want their child to be with them at this time. And, I think there was a lot of just unknown, especially when it all happened so fast. One day we're competing out here at home, and then just a few days later, everything is done. So it was definitely a difficult time, and of course, with a lot of different things that we just didn't know.
Ultimately, everyone was able to make it where they were heading in terms of their homes safely and that.
Yeah, the ones that were able to make it home did. So most of our team did return home. We have a few that went back to their countries. We have one out in Brazil, one in Israel, one in Portugal. And then we have 3 international girls who did stay behind. They just felt like it wasn't the best situation for them to be traveling, especially when this all happened. And then it just got difficult with countries closing borders, and, definitely not easy to get that last minute plane ticket. So we have one of our graduating seniors stayed behind, who's from the Czech Republic, and then we have a girl from Slovenia and Bulgaria who are both still here in town.
How have you guys been communicating with those that are still here in terms of supporting them and making them feel maybe not so lonely, I suppose?
Yeah, it's, we've been able to talk a lot. We're still talking through Zoom, even for the ones that are in town here, especially when we have been staying home. So we've been able to communicate with them that way, just reaching out, texting them, calling them, making sure if they need anything to know that we are here and we're only a couple steps away. So I think it's at least reassuring for them that they are not alone, that they have some teammates. Some of the men's tennis players are here, so the other student athletes, their roommates in one particular case. So at least they are still around a lot of people they know and that care for them, and knowing that myself and one of my assistants is still here in town too is always nice, so that if they do need anything, we're only a text or a call away.
You were able to get some of the season in and had certainly success, and you talked about one of the outgoing seniors. Just what were your thoughts on the season, how this stoppage will impact the roster next year, and just the momentum of Virginia Tech women's tennis as a whole?
Sure. Yeah. We got our season cut in half. We were about halfway through it, the start of the ACC season, but it started off really strong, especially with our out-of-conference matches. Had a big win over a nationally ranked team, and we went out to Las Vegas earlier in the year. So the team was definitely very positive, very excited to see what was going to come about it, especially once we got into the ACC. The ACC is tougher than it's ever been. So it's always a great challenge once you get into the season and you're playing against a lot of these top nationally ranked teams, top 10 teams. So we were definitely excited to see how all the rest of the matches were going to go. And, as we headed into the second part of the season in the ACC championship. So, definitely disappointing, of course, but everybody's in that same boat where, everybody had to cut short. But, in terms of the future of it, we're excited, because I think after anybody has been in this situation, it really makes you appreciate and get excited for that chance to get it back again. So I know the girls, we've been in constant touch with them through team meetings, individual meetings, and just trying to keep us all together during this time. And this is really getting them hungry. I mean, they are ready to just get moving again, get back out on some tennis courts, and they all can't wait to return and to get back to competing again for Virginia Tech. So our future is exciting. I can't wait to see the girls again back here on campus. I know they're counting down the days until they can return and we can all get back out there again.
Coach, this is a bit of a unique question, but my daily activities now consist of about 4 or 5 walks around campus. I live right just off campus, but I walk by the recreation tennis courts next to the Honhurst facility there, and they're just jam-packed. I've never seen them busier. Certainly wouldn't have wanted it to come about this way, but is there an opportunity for the game of tennis to enjoy a renaissance right now due to the fact that there's just so much increased demand for recreational activity?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been great to see people exercising and getting out there, but the tennis courts have been pretty popular, which is great for our sport. It's always exciting, especially when tennis is one of my passions, to see more and more people getting out there and playing and getting excited about the sport. So it's been awesome to see that, and I really hope it continues to grow our sport and keep getting people to really enjoy it and be passionate about it too.
Let's talk recruiting for just a little bit. You mentioned the difficulty of the ACC. Can you quantify that, how competitive it is on the court, but also recruiting, and how unique that is to tennis because it's so international in terms of where you're looking for talent?
Yes. Recruiting is, there's, it's great to be in this conference because it sells itself so much. I mean, when you have an opportunity to not only sell Virginia Tech, but the ACC, it helps our recruiting tremendously. Just to know that you're going to be competing against some of these top teams traditionally and still presently in the nation. So even, in fact, this past year, at one point in the season, every women's tennis program in the ACC was nationally ranked. So it's a real credit to our conference and to the coaches and the job that they're doing and how everybody continues to push each other to keep getting better. We had, I think, 8 teams in the top 16. So it's really exciting, and it definitely helps in terms of recruiting, especially internationally, when you can continue to sell the schedule and the competitiveness. And, we're in such a great place here at Virginia Tech because our location, our situation, just all of that really helps to make it a nice sell recruiting wise.
How about that from a facilities standpoint? You can't help but notice it's a beehive of activity up there right now.
Yeah, the facilities, we're very fortunate to have the facilities right on campus too. It's not like you have to drive somewhere. We're not 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away. We're an on-campus facility, both our indoors and outdoors, and to have them right next to each other is really nice, so that if we start a match or a practice outside, it starts raining, you've got to go inside, you don't have to get into cars, you don't have to travel. We're very fortunate to have that luxury and to have both indoors and outdoor courts here on campus.